How about the fact that the Twitter guy he's not even from here. He's from South Africa. He comes to this country and wants to turn it into a fucking dictatorship. He doesn't feel that we deserve democracy. Can you just imagine doing that? Going to another country and just deciding, yeah, you know what? I'm going to change this form of government because I've decided. Yeah, he doesn't mind living under a dictatorship as long as he's on the good side of it.
All right, so for the past 3 weeks or so, Bill Burr has been absolutely torching Elon Musk on his podcast. And if you're familiar with Bill Burr, you'd know that he's always been pretty open about his deep-seated hatred for greedy CEOs. So naturally, Elon Musk, being who he is pretty much at the top of Bill's list of people to roast. And now it seems like Elon is finally starting to get rattled by it. Because according to Burr, Elon recently flagged Bill's Twitter account for inappropriate content, which is just about as petty as it gets. I mean, Bill doesn't even host his podcast on Twitter. In fact, he rarely even posts there. So on one of his recent podcasts, Bill fired back and absolutely tore Musk to shreds.
Fucking laminated face cunt.
But before I show you that entire clip, I think it's important to lay down some groundwork to show you what really led up to all this. Because this tension has kind of been building up for months. Starting all the way back in January, right after Trump's inauguration, when Musk was caught on camera doing a back-to-back salute. And when Bill Burr caught wind of this, he called Elon out for it. And unlike most comedians in the so-called Rogan sphere, Bill is actually a true comedian. He doesn't pander to billionaire weirdos or play into whatever culture war that'll make him more popular with right-wing podcast listeners. So when it came to Elon, Bill did not hold back.
And look at that guy. With his Turkish hair plugs and his laminated face, and now he's out here Sieg Heiling. I mean, that guy is off his fucking rocker. All of these movies along the fucking way, The Greatest Generation, D-Day, all of those lives that were sacrificed so that people could live free. And this fucking nerd, because he couldn't get any pussy in high school, is now identifying with Hitler. Why would he be a Nazi? Like, what does he feel he's not getting as a white man? I mean, it's like you're a fucking billionaire. You got more money than anybody. You're still upset? Like, how do you have the bandwidth with the amount of fun? You're shooting rockets off and all of this stuff. You still have the bandwidth to fucking you to be like not liking people because they don't look like you? Is that what it is? I mean, to be honest with you, nobody looks like Elon Musk. That's what scared me about that guy. Hey, Elon Musk, if you don't mind, we'd like to enjoy our life. I don't think we need to reboot Adolf Hitler, you fucking lunatic. I'm sorry pretty girls don't like you until you have $1 billion.
Also in this podcast, Bill brought up a pretty interesting point. Why didn't anyone call out Elon for this? When powerful people like Elon make strange or questionable moves, the role of the comedian is to mock them. But aside from Bill, no one in the comedy world really said anything. It's almost like everyone was too scared or too invested in maintaining their business relationships to say anything critical about Elon Musk.
He's going to burn this whole thing down. I think he just lost his job. Oh, wait a minute. Nothing happened. I cannot believe nothing happened. Nothing happened. How do you explain that away? I got to be honest with you. The fact that he did that and everyone isn't fucking outraged is just, is beyond me. Because I always felt like this country collectively all agreed that Hitler was not a good person. And this is like some shit that needs to be stomped out immediately. That people are going to like fucking try to lead us back in that direction. I mean, what are we doing? This is the United States. We're united, not divided. And like, are we really going to fuck this up?
And again, when Bill says everyone here, I'm pretty sure he's referring to people in his own circle, his comedian friends with comedy podcasts, the people who have platforms just as big as his. But anyways, that initial rant about Elon's salute didn't actually get Musk's attention. What really got under his skin came about 10 days later, when Bill Burr made a much more aggressive statement about CEOs in general on his podcast.
This is so the amount of people that are struggling out there because of these fucking billionaires. And they got us all arguing liberal and conservative. We got to stop doing that. Like, I am so tired of hearing about people going to bed worried about what's going to happen next week. There is so much fucking money in this country. And there's so much work being done, you know. And if you work a full
fucking week at a job, you should be able to pay your fucking rent. You shouldn't have to go out and get another fucking job and still be struggling. It's bad for the country. It's so fucking, these fucking billionaires, they need to be put down. You know, like fucking rabid dogs. They're like rabid with fucking greed and just going out and just dividing everybody.
And now, if you've been following Bill Burr's comedy for a while, you'd know that he says stuff like this all the time. It's exaggerated, and it's meant to be funny. But for some reason, this one hit a nerve with some people. Like, that comment quickly spread all over Twitter, and the blue checkmark warriors immediately jumped to Elon's defense. And as we all know by now, Elon spends most of his waking hours tweeting, so there's a very high chance that he probably saw Bill Burr's comment. And this is where things get truly hilarious, because Elon, who's a guy who loves to act like he's some kind of free speech warrior, decided to retaliate by flagging Bill Burr's Twitter account. And you guys need to remember that this is the same guy who, just a few days prior, stood up at the CPAC conference and said that America needs to legalize comedy again.
You know, and have like a sense of humor, you know? So, I mean, the sort of the left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know? Yeah. Like, you can't make fun of anything. So then it was like, comedy sucks. It's like, nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like, legalize comedy. Yeah. Legalize comedy.
And we've shifted the entire culture in just the last few months. The whole culture of this country has shifted dramatically just because of that election.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, freedom of speech. Having fun again. It seems like we should have a good time, you know?
I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Elon Musk loves to cosplay as the savior of free speech in comedy until an actual comedian uses free speech to make fun of him. So in response to the Twitter flag, Bill Burr went absolutely nuclear on Elon in one of his more recent podcasts. And let me just tell you now that it was glorious.
I'll tell you what's funny. I made fun of the fucking Twitter guy for fucking Sieg Heiling, not once but twice. And I never look at my emails. I was scrolling through my emails and it said my Twitter account had been flagged for I don't even tweet anymore. It had been flagged for whatever. What a fucking baby. Just like Hitler. A fucking baby. Because that's another thing. All of these people that are into fucking Hitler, you know what I mean? And like look at this guy like he was some sort of fucking hero. The guy's one of the biggest fucking cowards ever. How about the fact that the Twitter guy he's not even from here. He's from South Africa. He comes to this country and wants to turn it into a fucking dictatorship. He doesn't feel that we deserve democracy. Can you just imagine doing that? Going to another country and just deciding, yeah, you know what? I'm going to change this form of government because I've decided. Yeah, he doesn't mind living under a dictatorship as long as he's on the good side of it. Fucking laminated face cunt.
And that brings us up to date with the Elon versus Bill Burr saga. At this point, unless Elon actually responds, I think Bill is done wasting his breath on him. And honestly, as much as I enjoy hearing Bill Burr roast CEOs, he's probably got better things to do. This whole situation might also explain why he hasn't been on the Joe Rogan Experience lately. If you've been paying attention to Rogan's podcast over the past year, you'd know that Joe has pretty much been nonstop glazing Elon Musk and spewing right-wing propaganda since the election. So it's no surprise that Bill, who's never really been one to hold his tongue, would kind of want to distance himself from that. So props to Bill Burr for being one of the last true American comedians. But anyways, that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, subscribe, and do let me know in the comments what you think about this whole situation. Do you think Elon is actually bothered by Bill Burr's comments? Or is this just another case of a billionaire throwing a tantrum over nothing? Either way, until next time, thanks for watching.